Well, Brian, I went ahead and searched through this past week's NXT program to see if we got a Steiner sighting. Our boy Rex Steiner. I wanted to see a Steiner, and he was on there. And don't worry, this won't take long. But a couple of random thoughts about NXT now that they've completely eviscerated the entire program. Now, remember Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner were bosom buddies leading into the War Games, right?
I think you said that?
Yeah. Well, now Von Wagner switched heel on Kyle O'Reilly at the War Games. So 2 days later, they had a cage match on free TV. And basically to just pulverize poor Kyle O'Reilly, because apparently he's done. He's bailing. And so Von Wagner beat him in the match and then slammed the cage door on his head about 4 or 5 times and left him laying. So thank you for coming, Kyle. We know where he's headed. Unless he's just decided to go live on a desert island. But yeah, might as well get that cage match out of this hot angle 2 days later on free TV and then sayonara to Kyle O'Reilly. But Rex Steiner did a promo. And apparently he's not done with Mr. Ciampa yet, Brian, because they're 1-1. Ciampa beat him in the previous singles match they had, but he beat Ciampa in the War Games, and he still wants the NXT title. And I'm going to tell you, this guy coming out, I can't believe he's had, 7 matches in front of people. I can't believe he's not done any more promos than he's done. He's way beyond his experience level. He sounded like he means this shit. He's got that Steiner, what is it in the Steiner squeal in his voice, that little tone that he gets that makes you know that he's a Steiner, whether Rick or Scott. He sounds just like him. So the first part of this was fantastic. And then guess who came out to interrupt when he said he wanted Ciampa again for the NXT title?
I don't know.
Malcolm Bivens and the Diamond Mine.
That was going to be my next guess.
Without Roderick Strong. Bivens comes out with his stooges, the brothers and the girl, and this killed it. Because while you were watching Steiner talk, you were forgetting that this is the C show and everybody's green as grass, right? Because here's this big, good-looking, jacked-up, kick-ass fucking guy in there. And it would have worked if Randy Orton had walked out on him, if Roman Reigns had walked out on him, if a star had walked out to the ring on him, it would have looked just fine, right? Not out of place. But here comes, and he's promoing next week, Roderick Strong's going to be back. And there's going to be a 6-inch and 70-pound weight difference. That's my material, not Malcolm's. Roddy's going to make him look like $5 million, which is what the idea is, because Roddy's probably the best worker all around they got left. But now that the cruiserweight champion, Roderick Strong, is going to face the guy for no apparent reason otherwise than he's the real face of NXT. He's just not being featured as it for a number of weeks now. So next week, apparently, we're going to see Rex Steiner against Roderick Strong, which will be a great match and a showcase for Rex Steiner, but we see what Roddy's future holds. So we'll get to it when we talk about AEW in a minute, but that may be the only thing that can save Adam Cole from wrestling purgatory, is to get the Undisputed Era back together real quick. And obviously Kyle is now a free agent, and more to come on the program. What do you think? Roderick Strong versus Rex Steiner. What is Roddy's chances for, unless he's signed a long-term contract, for a continued push at least?
It's kind of WWE knows that there are certain guys who are going to go there, and I think they just accept it. and they're looking at other kind of people right now. So it's like, he can't wait to go there. I'm not saying him. I shouldn't say, I don't know anything about Roderick Strong, but guys can't wait to go to AEW. There are guys that AEW and their fans can't wait to have, and WWE, whether right or wrong, think, okay, goodbye, we're going to go get some college athlete that knows nothing about wrestling. Go have fun doing your wrestling matches over there.
Well, speaking of having fun, remember I said last week I was searching for Steiner and I saw two goofs in a car in the dark looking for a shaman? I swear to God, yes. It was two goofs in a car, but it was dark, so you couldn't see that they weren't really riding a car anywhere. And then they're looking for a shaman, and they come and they open a door, and there's a bright light, and it's to be continued. Well, we found out. And for the two goofs in the car were the MSK guys. I should have known right off the bat. Acting goofy with really bad haircuts. And guess who the shaman that they were looking for turned out to be?
I have no idea.
Matt Riddle. Because apparently the two goof MSK guys are also supposed to be stoners. And Riddle, who's a complete blithering idiot and a poster boy for the anti-legalization of marijuana, if ever I've seen one. If marijuana, the devil's lettuce, makes you act like either of the three of these people, then it should be outlawed immediately, and its sale or marketing should be punishable by death.
For the record, it doesn't make you act like those people. There are other people
I'm being
consume
facetious.
It and are fine.
I'm being facetious. You have to have something wrong with your chemistry anyway before the addition of the leafy green would make. But all three of these morons act like they're stand-ins on one of those goofy so-and-so goes to White Castle movies from 15 years ago. And that's when the whole thing was Riddle sat down with them and in a fucking yoga pose and asked, "What's on your brains, brothers?" So anyway, that was that. Do you remember what Raquel Gonzalez looked like?
Yes, I think she was actually the champion the last time I watched.
She don't look like that anymore.
Oh.
I thought they got a whole new girl. I didn't recognize her. They've changed her hair, style, and color, her clothes, her makeup, her attitude. She was the foreboding, larger, standing there, kick-ass type of girl, and now she's kind of just happy and fluffy and soft. And then finally, the other thing that I was waiting for, because they let it be known, obviously, the two people that the contract watch that we were on, is not only Kyle O'Reilly, but also good old Johnny Sameface. Where in the world? We got rid of Mrs. Sameface. She's at home multiplying. But now is Mr. Sameface, Johnny Wrestling, as they call him there, the friends and family crowd. He was going to make a big announcement about his future. And I've got to be, this is another example of like getting a little bit pregnant. If they were going to do this segment, they should have done it, but they didn't do it. He didn't come out there and say, I'm at a crossroads on my career. Am I going to stay? Am I going to go? Related to the contract, which is what everybody was wanting to know about. He gives a speech on his future. Basically, he's going to be a new dad. And he comes out, he's got his Mo Howard haircut. He's dressed in street clothes that made it look like his mother forgot to pick him up after school and he had to walk home. And he does the most humble babyface promo. And actually, this was probably his best verbal performance because normally he's always acting like a wrestler and sometimes acting like a bad guy wrestler. And remember when he put the shark fin on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here he was being himself. And it was genuine, and it sounded like he meant it. The problem was who he really is. This was the most humble babyface promo. I really hope I gave you guys wrestling you could be proud of. He talked about how lucky he was to be there, how he never thought he'd be in NXT, and William Regal helped him, and blah, blah, blah. that he's still the shy, chubby 8-year-old fan with self-doubt and insecurity. This is the only time I've ever believed in anything that he said, and he was talking about being an uninteresting nerd with no confidence or self-respect or whatever. Just another fucking guy that's just so happy to have been there. So he's given the goodbye speech. It's obviously a farewell speech, but since it was never mentioned on any of their programming or the official WWE accounts, YouTube, whatever, social media, it's never been announced that he was deciding whether or not he was staying with NXT about his contract. So for people who go and study on the internet, which I guess now is the last people left watching this fucking program, they knew what he was talking about. But if you just like a normal viewer, you're like, well, what, he's going to quit wrestling and go home and have a kid. And he's also, did I mention, an insecure, unsure of himself little nerd that's been happy to be there and is almost ready to break into tears. We've lost a higher standard for our stars, haven't we?
Everyone now does their Hall of Fame speech in the middle of their career.
Yes, or in this case, this may be toward the ends of his career. We're not sure yet. But anyway, and then he started talking about the imminent baby he was going to have. And there's a close-up on him in the ring, and the people start reacting like, hey, watch out, but he's still talking. And then I realize it's because the guy that's coming up behind him was coming up behind him. They were trying to warn him, but he didn't listen. And he got smacked with a chair. And, oh, it's Grayson Waller. Another guy that looks like he just fucking walked out of a fucking ice cream store with his younger brother. He looks like he's 16. And this guy beat him up and powerbombed Mr. Sameface through the announce desk and left him laying. So he better be done. I don't know what to say.
What do you think of WWE's way of dealing with these guys going to AEW or just leaving the company, the way they're writing these guys off? We've seen now several of them.
Well, again, I mean, to me, it's more impactful and more suited to your purpose when you're finishing a guy up to just beat him once or twice in a high-profile match with a guy you're wanting to push for the future. What they did here was give him all this time to say goodbye without actually saying goodbye to people that only part of them knew what the fuck he was doing to begin with. And then they involved him in what looks like every other wrestling angle in the world, to where now I'm going to be, if I'm a fan, and I know some people, for the people who like that kind of thing, it's the kind of thing those people like. Some people like Johnny Gargano. So now they're going to be looking for him to come back and get even, because this is an angle to lead to something. So they, instead of just beating him in a match or two and he does the job and everybody moves on and just don't talk about him anymore, now with both O'Reilly and Gargano, you've done high-profile angles where people are going to continue to think about them and expect them to come back and get some kind of revenge. The one guy got his head slammed in the door multiple times. The other guy got power bombed through the fucking desk or whatever. That's leaving people with a different feeling than just all of a sudden this guy lost a couple of big matches and now nobody's mentioning him anymore. So if they still thought there was a chance that either one of these guys would come back, then they left it open-ended on purpose. If they don't think they're coming back, then they just left it open-ended by accident. That's what I think. You see what I mean?
I do. And
who gets more reaction? A guy who's just been over in the past and gets the shit kicked out of him in some blatant way on television by a heel that they're pushing, or just, hey, he got beaten that match, comes back a couple weeks later, gets beaten that one, and we're just not talking about him much anymore. Then the focus is on the new talent and not the old talent. Now they're still going to be waiting for the old talent to come back.
All right, well, I'm not waiting for any NXT to come back. I don't need to watch that crap.
No, I'll tell you what, nobody is waiting for NXT anymore, but I'll tell you what I did discover. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a problem with insomnia, do not torture yourself by trying to cure it by listening to or watching. Sometimes I listen to NXT with my eyes closed. I just listen. Other times I watch it and it cures my insomnia, but it gives me a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach before it does. You don't need that. Don't worry about NXT as a cure for insomnia. Get a Helix sleep mattress. You will sleep better. You will sleep the sleep of the dead. They will have to chant incantations over you the next morning to get you up off this mattress. Possibly even burn some Tana leaves and invoke the spirit of Tutankhamun and Prince Karis, all those type of things. If you're on the Helix mattress, you're floating in a cloud. All you got to do, folks, is go to helixsleep.com and you take a quiz. It takes about 2 minutes. They ask you a few questions about your body type, sleep preferences, and they match you to the perfect mattress that they make for your style, so to speak. They've got soft, medium, and firm. They've got cool-down mattresses if you sleep hot. They've got mattresses great for spinal alignment to prevent those morning aches and pains. As a matter of fact, my spine has never felt better. I used to be spineless before the Helix sleep mattress. Anyway, you take the quiz, you get matched up with the mattress, you order the thing, and it's delivered to your door, shipped for free. You don't ever need to go to a mattress store again. Lay on some of those mattresses. You got who knows who testing them out. This is perfect. They bring it right to your door. You unbox it, and it just flies into life. Well, it doesn't fly. It inflates.
Of all the things for you to correct, that's what you want to make a correction about.
Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't fly into shape. It's not going to knock over anything or injure you in any way. It's going to kind of slowly and gently puff up into shape, and then it's amazing. It's an amazing procedure to watch. They got a 10-year warranty. You get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. Not only you, but anybody you want to bring on it. Conduct yourself in any way that you like to conduct yourself on a mattress and try this thing out. And if you don't like it after 100 nights, well, if you ain't been getting laid, it's not their fault, it's your fault. But if you haven't been sleeping good, it's their fault, and they'll pick it up for you if you don't love it. But right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows just for our listeners in the cult of Cornette at helixsleep.com/JCE. I'm telling you, 12,000 5-star reviews, 1 billion hours slept on Helix mattresses. And boy, that guy never felt better in his life after he slept that billion hours. Folks, even if you're fighting with your wife about what you need to lay on or who gets laid on, your mattress doesn't need to be one of the things you fight about. Take the sleep quiz with your partner, and Helix will match you to a mattress that works for both of your needs. And then you can work out the sex later. But anyway, helixsleep.com/JCE, up to $200 off mattress orders and 2 free pillows. You can't top it.